We are live, Bruno. All right, so this is Bruno. And Bruno is Cadet's little brother, the giant doodle that we just did. So it's his little brother. And Cadet is doing so much better now than when I first started doing him. He used to try to jump off the table and just, he was just really um, just scared and bouncing and full of energy. But now I think this is maybe the third or fourth time I'm grooming him, and he's doing so much better. Still a little antsy in his pantsies, see that? Still a little bit antsy, but he's behaving so much better. I got this leg here brushed out so far. There you go. So basically doing the same thing we did with Cadet. I'm sorry. Only Bruno here is much more vocal and opinionated about everything. Okay, buddy. But that's okay. I just want to be, patient, but persistent, Oh, just let them know this is just what we gotta do, This is part of hygiene. And it does take a while because it's springtime. And anytime you're dealing with any kind of dog code during the seasonal changes, you're gonna, have a little extra work to do. I remember I was up in Tennessee, Portland, Tennessee, for my high school reunion, my 20-year high school reunion. But anyways, okay. We were walking around this farm, and there was these Scottish cows, and I'm not sure if it's a Scottish something cow. They had like these big muffin top heads. But anyways, the farmer, she was telling us that, the cows, what did she say? She said, "Oh, it's a change of the season. It was during the fall." She was like, "It's because it's during the fall. The seasons are changing. They're going through a coat change." So she was like, "They're looking kind of rough." And I was like, wow, that's what I tell my clients about the dogs. I was like, whenever there's a season change, there's a coat change, so the dogs start looking kind of rough. And I was like, wow, same thing with the cows, same thing with goats, sheep, pretty much anything that has fur, during the change of the seasons, you're gonna have a little extra work, a lot more of this dead coat to work through. Oh, don't jump. Okay. So just going through with the slicker brush first to break up the top coat, so I can go through with the comb. Alrighty. And so with a dog like this, where he's ready to jump at any moment, I want to always keep my hand on him, keep my body on him. So whenever I'm touching him like this, keep my arm on his body. I just want constant contact with him. There we go. So that if he does start to have that twitch, that muscle twitch, and I can feel he's about to launch himself off the table, I can go ahead and, kind of stop him, encourage him to just stay on the table a little longer. You're okay. There you go, buddy. And the good news is, because he's smaller, he can actually fit in that tub there. So I know a lot of people were saying that they want to see the wash process, step 3, you wash and dry. So what I may do is continue just to stream and show you the bathing process. So you can see, how I do the bath, because it's not just lathering the dog up with shampoo and rinsing them off. I wish it was that easy, but there's a lot that goes into it. And so maybe with Cadet here, since I won't be in the shower in there with him, maybe I'll go ahead and show you the bathing process. Really, the key is contact time, letting the shampoo sit so that it can actually have time to do what it's designed to do. Because the shampoo, when you're lathering up the shampoo on the dog's body, that's not when the cleaning happens. That's just, getting the shampoo, the bubbles all over their body, right? what the cleaning actually happens during the rinse, when you're rinsing the shampoo off, that's when the cleaning actually happens. If you give the shampoo enough time to to attach itself, make that chemical bond with the grease and the dirt and all the grime. You want to give the shampoo time to make that attach itself to those dirt particles. And then when you rinse the dog off after the shampoo is set for 5-10 minutes, that's when the dog is actually getting clean, because as you're rinsing off the shampoo, you're also rinsing off all the dirt and the old oil that it's attached itself to. But you're not going to get great results if you just lather up the dog and start rinsing as soon as the dog is lathered up. I always tell people, why even bother getting good shampoo? Why spend that money if you're not going to give the shampoo time to actually do what it was designed to do? So that's the one major takeaway I would share about washing a dog, is give the shampoo time to work. Okay. There we go. Good boy, Bruno. Good boy. And again, this is he's behaving so much better than the first time. I remember the first time it was just, oh man. It was a struggle just to keep him on the table. And he was crawling over me, like trying to crawl over my shoulder. I had scratch marks all over me, all over my back and my neck and stuff. It's almost like I had a rough date or something, It's like, what are we back in college or something? Shoot. I thought those days were over. Anyways. Okay. There we go. And as we break up this coat, we're breaking up this dead hair, and then when I go through with the comb, it'll comb everything out much easier. There you go, buddy. So I mentioned in the last video, the goal is to get this metal comb to go through the coat, right? To go smoothly through the coat. So if that's the goal, it's like, why not just start with the metal comb and just work it through? Well, because that could cause him a little bit too much discomfort, tugging and pulling so much. But if we go through and break up that outer coat, that top coat first, then the comb can go through and kind of work out the bundles of dead hair much easier. And it causes the dog a lot less discomfort. There you go. I know, buddy. See, that's what we're doing, buddy. We're just brushing. Good boy. So that might seem like a little silly thing to do, but it's actually a real training technique called name and explain. It's just a brush, buddy. See? Good brush. That's what we're doing. We're brushing. See? Brush. Good brush. So by naming the tool, brush. See? Remember the brush? Good brush. Good brush. By naming the tool and giving it a name that he can remember. Let's see if I can. Sorry. Okay, there we go. By giving the tool a name that he can associate it with. Oh man, what am I doing? Okay. Okay. By naming the tool, now he knows, okay, this is brush. Brush. Remember brush? Good brush. By naming and then explaining what this tool is doing, and then giving it a name, explanation, and then doing it, for some reason, they're just a lot more cooperative and willing to cooperate with you. Because, I think that it shows them that they are involved, that we're working together on this. It's not just me doing this to you, So whenever he gets nervous, just It's a brush, remember? We're just brushing. Good brush. And right here, there's a huge mat. So let me show you how I get rid of a really solid mat. Now, if the whole dog was matted like this all over, now we would have to have a different discussion. But if it's just certain areas like this, then what we can do is go in. Okay, so now it's a little bit too thick. See, it's a big matted, thick mat right there, ball. So it's a little bit too thick for this. So now here's what I'll do. Where's my scissors? I'm gonna get my scissors and just run it through the mat. There we go. Look at that, look how tight it is. You're okay, buddy. Always away from the dog with the lay of the coat. There we go. So this is what I do. So we go through and just slice it up, break it up into smaller parts. So it's not just one big solid mass. Now we're breaking it up. So we do that, right? And then, just go ahead and break up a little bit more, I feel. Okay. Okay, once we've broken it up with scissors, then we can go through with the dematting rake. And see, now it's not pulling so much because I broke it up into smaller mats. So now I can go ahead and break it up with this dematting rake, not mat splitter. You're okay, buddy. You're okay. You're okay. I know, buddy. There you go. See? That's the dematting rake. See? Or rake. Good rake. Good boy. There we go. See that? When he turned to inspect it, by giving it a name, explaining what I'm doing it, with it, he kind of just turned around, just, kind of resigned himself to accept what's going on. Because even though he may not understand exactly what I'm saying, he probably just figures, all right, well, it seems like he knows what he's doing, You're okay, buddy. You're okay. It's okay, buddy. So see, when a dog starts to show, that they're nervous, you're okay, buddy. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is to slow down. See? It's just a rake. Look at that. So I like to just, instead of speed up when the dog is feeling nervous and rush, kind of like mirroring his energy, mirroring that tension. What I like to do is just relax and just take it super slow, just slow down and give them a chance to just be calm, rather than rush through it while they're feeling. And they're feeling nervous because they think that you're gonna hurt them, maybe even by accident, but they don't care. They don't want to get hurt. But as long as we can work slowly but confidently, I think that kind of helps them calm down a little bit, because they can feel that, you're confident in the way that you're handling them, you're confident in the way you're using the tools. They don't feel like you're rushed, you're rushing. There we go. But when he starts to, whine, and starts to, hop and start lifting up his legs off the table, if I were to start reacting and start acting in a kind of a hurried manner, and I kind of mirrored his, that nervousness, I mirror it back to him, then it can get to the point where he's like literally trying to jump off the table. It's okay. I know. Good boy. There you go. But I think, by acknowledging that they do have feelings about this and validating it, not being dismissive and like, hey, just let me do this, I think by, respecting the way they feel, acknowledging it, taking a moment to let them calm down, gather themselves. I think that is what creates the better experience each time you groom them. You know? Oh, you okay, buddy? Okay, so let me take a little break on that side. Wow, can you see that? So even though they don't look very matted, all of these mats are hiding under the top coat. You know? There you go, buddy. Okay, I'll go through with this. There we go. You know, and so I know a lot of groomers who would watch this and probably be like, you know, no way, just shave it. You know, why don't you just shave that coat down and start over? Save time, you know? And I don't disagree. You know, I really don't. I don't disagree with those groomers who say that it's better just to shave this dog down, just to shave the coat all off and start over. Because, you know, who has the time to go through and comb all of this? And also, are you okay, buddy? They're saying, you know, it is a lot to ask on the dog to stay still and, you know, allow us to comb their entire body out. You're okay, buddy. See, we're just combing. See? It's the comb. See that? Good comb. So, and I actually don't disagree. I think you have to make a judgment call, you know, and especially in the grooming shop, in the salon setting, where there's other dogs scheduled, people are waiting to pick their dogs up. You know, you really can't spend this kind of extra time just and focus on just one dog. You know, you really have to kind of keep the day going and make sure you're being efficient with your time. And that's the only way you can get all the dogs that are in the shop out in a timely manner. So I would agree for the most part with most, you know, all the groomers who say like, just shave the dog. Why would you spend all this time, you know, dematting it, combing it out? I agree. But for me, I feel like I am like particularly lucky that I get to do the work that I like to do, that makes me feel good, you know? And for me to do this and to put in the time, and it is difficult, that's why it feels so rewarding to me, because it's not easy. Because, you know, easy is not rewarding. So, and also, I have my business modeled in a way where, you know, I can do this and I can spend, you know, one-on-one time and get each dog combed out properly, thoroughly, you know. But I'm not saying that this is the only or the right way or anything like that. This is just showing you my process, and trying to explain why I do what I do, right? To clear the pores, make sure the skin is healthy, make sure we have a dog that smells good for weeks to come. You know, and also just to show people my process in case you want to do it yourself at home. But this is not in any way trying to tell other professional groomers who have their grooming shop that this is the way they should be doing their doodles. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. And I hope that that message is clear and does not get, you know, misinterpreted. Okay. So I think like any art form, grooming, you know, a lot of it is up for personal interpretation. And I think a lot of it is your personal style, you know, the way you style the dog and finish the haircut. A lot of that is kind of your personal flair, you know, your own unique flair. And so, you know, I really don't think that there is like one set way that we should groom a doodle, you know? It's like, what's the breed standard for a doodle? Well, who knows? Because they're mixed, right? It's a mixture between a poodle and a golden retriever usually. But yeah, what is the breed standard for a doodle? You know, I don't think there is one. There we go. Are there any questions? Oh, David, what's up, David? Long time. Hey there, there he is. Hey, June. It's been a minute since I caught you live. Been super busy working. Thank you for keeping up with your posting. Thank you, David. Awesome. It's good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while. Alrighty. Wow, look at this. As I'm brushing like little sticks, little sticks and debris coming out of their coat. Good job, buddy. Okay, so just like on the other side, there's some thick mats on this side as well. It's right here, actually the same location as the mat that was on the other side. So same thing on that mat. Oh, it's just a brush. Good brush, buddy. See? Good brush. Okay, so same thing. I'm gonna get my scissors and I'm gonna go with the lay of the coat and just slide it through. There we go. And you want to go with the direction that the hair grows. That way you don't make a sharp line, horizontal line. There we go. See that? Oh, maybe you can't see. There we go. There we go. So you find the mat, and then you break it up into small pieces. There we go. And then once you break up that big mass, that, you know, so it's not just one big giant mat. Once you break that up into smaller pieces, now you can get the dematting rake and go through and pull those smaller pieces of mats out now that they're broken up. See that? You can literally start pulling it out with your fingers. Look at that. There we go. There we go. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. Wow, look at that. All right. There we go. Nice. Oh, so you know what? I'm not sure how many people watching this are professional groomers, but there's a trade show, a dog pet show, or a grooming show that comes to Atlanta every year around this time, springtime. And it sounds like they just canceled the event, mid-event. So groomers are here from all over, the country, traveled, and the trade show started on Thursday, I believe. The classes did anyways, and then Friday and Saturday, today's Saturday, and they're canceling the last day tomorrow for the coronavirus. And yeah, a little bit of mixed feelings with all that, but I'm glad that in the end they did make the right call, because this coronavirus seems to be pretty serious, right? It seems to be, they're calling it a pandemic at this point, aren't they? So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Oh man. I have some friends, some groomer friends that are at the trade show, and they're saying that they're just very disappointed with the way that everything's been handled and how everything's been rolled out. But, oh, a little bit of good news. One of my friends, her name's Vanessa. She runs a company called Groomer Girls, and they sell bows and accessories and things like that. She wanted me to let everyone know on my Facebook page and stuff. So, I mean, in case you're a groomer here in Atlanta, and you're here for the trade show, if you happen to watch this, show season, they had a tent sale on Thursday. They're going to set up another tent sale tomorrow for those groomers who flew in town, and you can't really change your travel plans and things like that, and you're just kind of stuck here for an extra day, and there's trade shows now canceled. Show season is setting up a tent sale for the groomers who came in town to try to get shampoos and things like that, but didn't have a chance to. And they're in Norcross, so near Mountain Industrial Way, that area. But yeah, it's called Show Season. SHOWSEASON. Show Season. But they're in Norcross, and they're going to have a tent sale tomorrow. But again, with this whole coronavirus thing going on, just my personal opinion, if you don't need any shampoo, you don't really need to go out and buy anything, I would recommend staying home, right? If you don't have to go out. Just because it's not even about whether or not you're gonna make it, or because they're saying most people it's just going to be very mild symptoms, like a mild cold, So even though we may be young and we may be able to just, get over it without an issue, it's the chance of spreading it, giving it to someone whose immune system is compromised, maybe an older person who's just in that area, it's the possibility of giving it to somebody who might not be as healthy as you are. I think that's the real concern. So even though you may not be concerned about your own personal health, and that you're healthy, you have a strong immune system, and you'll probably get over it, I think it's a lot more. It's more than that. It has a lot more to do with the fact that we're gonna carry it once we catch it from someone. Even if we don't even show any signs or symptoms or side effects, we can give it to someone, and then that person could actually end up in a serious condition. There you go. So yeah, even me, I've been considering it all day today. Like, if I start to feel the symptoms, which they say is like a sore throat, a persistent cough, headache, fever. If I start to feel any of that, which I don't, thank God, you're okay, buddy. See, Bruno? That's what we're doing, buddy. See that? But yeah, if I start to show any symptoms, I am going to do the right thing. It would be the more difficult decision to make, because it would put a real dent. It would put a real dent in my finances. But I think I would, reschedule or tell everybody, sorry, I'm showing some symptoms, and I'd rather not risk spreading the disease, and I would. But hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully we won't have to do anything like that. You're okay, buddy. There you go. All right. There we go. There you are. But from one interview that I listened to earlier, they're saying that President Trump was saying that they may consider limiting travel from state to state, right? Limiting domestic travel. And that would be kind of, difficult, right? Especially for me, my children are up in Tennessee, and that means that if they ban state-to-state travel for a while, then I won't be able to drive up to Tennessee to see my girls. So that's gonna be a little bit of a, challenge. But, I think necessary though. Even though it would make me feel sad that I can't go and see my girls up in Tennessee, I would understand the necessity of it though, to keep everybody safe. Man, we're living in unprecedented times, right? It's never been like this. You're okay, buddy. Right? I remember SARS. When that whole thing happened, SARS. I remember Ebola and all that, when they made a big deal about that. But it's never really been like this. This feels different to me. Bargill. Hey, what's up, Bargill? Hello, what a coincidence. I just got done grooming my dog. Nice. What's up, Leon? Leon from Trinidad. The groomer from Trinidad, baby. Anyways, good to see you, Leon. Hey, Leon, how are things over there in the islands in Trinidad? Are you guys, is the coronavirus there as well? Are you guys, experiencing any, I guess, disruption, in your daily lives from the coronavirus thing? That'd be kind of interesting to find out. Like, how are the islands doing, right? Has it gotten there? Because I know Tom Hanks, right, in Australia, they tested positive for it, Tom Hanks. So I guess, the coronavirus is in Australia. But it's bad enough we have this virus pandemic. Now we have toilet paper pandemic too. Exactly. Shoot, maybe that's the thing I should ask. Leon, do you have toilet paper? Are you good? Oh man. Okay. Good boy, Bruno. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. Good boy. Now that we got all this matting out, look at this. See that? You just pull it out with your fingers. But now that we got all this matting out, now I can go ahead and comb him through, give him a nice bath. Ready to go. Alrighty. Leon, sadly, we just got our first 2 cases on Thursday. Whoa, my God. First 2 cases on Thursday and Friday. Wow. So it's recent. Very recent. Wow, this week, just your first case? Wow. Okay, so one of my clients, she works at a doctor's office. And she was telling me that her office, they're not accepting any sick patients. So anybody who's sick or showing symptoms of a cold or anything like that, they want them to stay home, call the doctor, and the doctors will call in any prescriptions that they need, and they'll do it that way because they don't want the sick patients coming into their practice and getting everyone sick. So they're telling the sick people to stay home and don't come into the doctor's office. And also, she said that we're gonna have to accept the fact that almost everyone's gonna get it. She said we're just gonna have to get used to the fact, just accept it, that that's most likely what's gonna happen now. Almost everyone's gonna get it. And so now we just have to plan on how to deal with that. And yeah, it's kind of a sobering thought, right? So but the good news is good news, I mean, if there's any good news, I guess a little bit of good news is that it doesn't seem to be affecting children. So that really gave me a real like sense of relief that at least I don't have to worry about my kids. Kids seem to be safe from it, and that is strange, right? I was listening to this one doctor on one of the news shows, and he was saying that children seem to be safe from it, and they're not sure exactly why. And I was like, huh, it's interesting. There we go. There was an old episode on the Twilight Zone that I watched where there's all of the world. It's like a post-apocalyptic world where kids are just running wild, just kind of running things because all the adults turned into these like zombie-like type creatures, and they call them grups, 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 like short for grown-ups. So these kids would call the grown-ups grups, and just try to stay away from them. And it was interesting. Like I guess the whole world got hit by some sort of virus or something that it only affected adults. It would turn all the adults into these like monsters, and but the kids would be safe. It wouldn't affect the kids. And I don't know why. It just kind of reminded me of that Twilight Zone episode. Shoot, all the grubs getting sick, the kids were safe. What if this is nature's way of kind of clearing out the old, I mean, not that that would be a good thing, I'm just saying. Man, there you go, buddy. Okay. There we go. Wow, all this mats. Okay, buddy. So now I just have his head to brush out. Got this rest of his body brushed out. Alrighty. Leon says, the island feels quiet for Saturday, but my clients came out as usual to my salon today. Awesome. Well, why wouldn't they, Leon? Bargill, yeah, it's not looking too great here either. We have a suspected case in my town and another an hour away, but people are panicking, so they're emptying shelves and stealing TP from gas station. Yeah. Oh wow. Here as well. Yeah, the grocery stores the shelves are empty. There's no toilet paper. Jessica Anderson says, we had a lady in my town bust into the bathrooms at our local Walmart and steal the toilet paper, even in the stalls that were in use. Like, oh my God, crazy. Okay, wow, this is getting interesting. Bargo, I work at a hotel ATM and we're disinfecting everything. Oh, at the moment, and we're disinfecting everything every 2 hours or so. My friend, who I used to work with at PetSmart, had so many cancellations and someone robbed their TP there too. Oh my God. Leon, they're buying out goods here also, but I hope I'm not be too laid back, but I'm not taking it very serious. I mean, yeah, Leon, I don't know. I'm trying not to panic either and just stay cool and level-headed about this, but it is concerning me, right? I mean, this is very concerning. This feels very different than anything else I've ever lived through, I'm 39 years old, almost 40 years old. And, in 40 years, I've never seen anything like this that I can remember. Even the SARS epidemic, I don't remember it being like this. So it's interesting. I'm not sure what's going to happen, really. So, and I heard from someone, this is privileged information. So I'm not going to say who my source is, but this is information that I was told is not supposed to be made public just yet. Maybe a good idea if I don't say it then. Yeah, I won't say it. Just in case, there's okay. What does Leon say? Bargill says the virus has a 93 to 97% recovery rate and less than 2% death rate. I think it's because it spreads so fast and easily, people are just straight up overreacting. Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing that kind of helps ease my concerns as well. As far as my personal health and safety and my kids, I'm pretty sure that even if I were to get it, or my kids were to get it, from the information that I'm reading and hearing, all the stuff that I'm hearing, and just from what I know, or what I'm being told, I guess, it seems like we're gonna be okay. It's just gonna be like a mild cold. But my concern is my clients who, some of them, so for example, on Tuesday I have a client scheduled, and she's recovering from breast cancer. And so it's in complete remission. Her hair is growing back. She's looking so beautiful now. But again, I should say she's looking so beautiful again. But she was saying that she had a eye surgery recently, and her doctor is saying, especially because she just had cancer and all the chemo treatment, her body's still getting back. He's saying that it's probably best not to come into contact with anyone in her situation, right? And so she sent me a message and asked if we could reschedule, because she just doesn't want to risk coming into contact with anyone. And I told her, of course. I didn't all I said was, of course, please stay healthy. I didn't want to get into, oh, I'm not showing any symptoms, I'm safe, I don't have the coronavirus, or none of that, because I don't know, I could be carrying it without showing any symptoms, so yeah, I told her, of course, I agree 100%, your safety is number one, please be safe. So yeah, some of my clients, they're older. One of my clients, she's like almost 80 years old. So yeah, I don't feel comfortable, going and possibly, spreading the disease to them, even though I would probably get over it with no big deal, Oh, man. What would we do though if we're all quarantined for 2 weeks and we're not allowed to leave the house for 2 whole weeks? What are we gonna do? I guess that's what all the toilet paper's for, right? Because I know what most guys are gonna do. Most of us guys, most of us men, we're gonna need some lotion and some toilet paper, and plenty of it. No wonder people are buying all that toilet paper, it's flying off the shelves, man. Shoot, it all makes sense now. It's the men. It's all these perverted guys wondering what they're gonna do for 2 weeks at home by themselves. Well, we gotta get lotion and toilet paper. Anyways. Alright, I'm not sure how appropriate it was for me to joke around talking about a serious topic. Alright, guys. Well, he is mostly brushed out. Now I have to go through with the comb, just make sure I got all of that out. There we go. What time is it? As someone with a suppressed immune system, I can't risk not taking this seriously, and pray that others see it the way you do, June. Oh, thank you, Dusk. Yeah, see, that's exactly my point. I might be healthy, and I might be fine with it, and I'll get over it with no problem, but that's not the issue. The issue is others who may suffer and possibly die because I didn't have the consideration to think of what it might do for others. Um, does jokes make it better? How effective is the happy hoodie? Oh, I love the happy hoodie. Yeah, I used it early on cadet as well. He just laid down. I love the happy hoodie. Okay, there we go. Wow, Bruno's doing so good. You're such a good boy. Look at him. Like a pro. Alrighty. I'm proud of you, Bruno. There we go. Oh, you know, one thing I heard, which I thought was so commendable, so honorable. Disney World, their Disney World has decided to shut down till May, I believe, and they told all their employees that they will be paid. They're all still gonna get paid while they're not working during this time. I thought that was just so awesome. What a great company, you know, to think of their employees like that, to help give them some peace of mind, set them at ease, you know, so they can do the safe thing, they can do the more ethical thing, stay home, but then they don't have to worry, you know, they don't have to feel that anxiety about the lost income. I think, wow, Disney World, you know, shoot, man. Disney World be like, what can I say except you're welcome for paying you without no. But yeah, I mean, wow, what an awesome company. And I hear that, you know, the House is proposing a bill, right? So that they can help people like restaurant owners get a loan to help pay their bills while this is all going on. So it gives me hope. It gives me a lot of hope to see how people are responding to this. And I'm seeing very human responses. I'm seeing very caring, considerate, human kindness, you know? And it really does inspire me. It's horrible that this happened, that this whole coronavirus happened. Terrible. But one good thing, the silver lining, is seeing how everybody's coming together, you know, and working together to try to fix this. All right. Okay. I remember talking about eagles and rattlers. The what was it called? The realistic conflict theory. And it was an experiment done at Robbers Cave, the Robbers Cave experiment. And they found that when these boys, these you know little boys would, they separated them into two houses called eagles and rattlers, and when they created an environment of competition and they were competing for limited resources and they saw each other as, you know, the competition, you know, they saw each other as a threat. They would fight each other. They found each other's campsites and ransacked each other's campsites, stole personal property. You know, like it caused them to really hate each other and fight with each other. But then the way that they got the kids to get along was they gave them challenges to solve that would affect the whole that would affect the whole group, all of them. For example, they vandalized the water source, so the boys had to work together to figure out how to fix this water tank so that they can drink because they were thirsty. And when they worked together and figured it out, they were so happy. They high-fived each other. Another example is they had the bus that the kids were riding on. They had the bus break down, so that the kids had to get out of the bus and pull it together. And a heavy school bus like that, you know, small children, I bet it took a lot of effort, but they did it, and they did it together. And when they got the bus from, out of the mud, unstuck from the mud, when they pulled it out, those kids, again, high-fived each other, really appreciated each other. And just like Ronald Reagan said, maybe it'll take alien invasion, a threat from outside of our planet to wake the world up, wake our planet up, and help us realize that we're all on the same team. We're all one race, the human race, right? And that we shouldn't look at each other as us versus them. We're all on the same team. And I think that by us having to focus on this worldwide, threat, something that's threatening the whole world, all of us, I think this is helping us to see how connected we really are, just how much we really do affect each other. And I think that, this is helping us to, see that we really are on the same boat, literally, almost, figuratively, I guess metaphorically, but almost literally, because this planet is just a big giant rock, spinning, at that incredible pace, just out there spinning around in the universe, out in space. We're literally a spaceship, if you think about it, planet Earth, and we're all on the spaceship together. Okay. Nice. So now that I can get the comb to go through, his skin's feeling much more smooth. Now I can wash him. But before I wash him, one more step is to do the close shaving. The paw pads, the center area. There we go. He's not like leaning off the table. Go. Okay. So behind the ears is kind of matted pretty thick. But this is the hardest part of the groom. After this, the rest is pretty easy. Oh yeah, I was about to tell this story when I was grooming his brother, Cadet, earlier. For some reason, dogs forget how to stand. They lose all motor skills when they're on the table. That's why you saw him flop over there. But yeah, it's weird because for some reason, when you get a dog on the grooming table, they just forget how to stand straight. And they start flopping over, falling over. But anyways, so I was at my client's house last week, and she had some contractors over, and they had recently painted her garage walls, right? And I asked them, well, I was talking to them about how similar it is prepping the coat for a haircut and prepping the walls to paint. And I told them I had no idea how much work and time went into the prepping the walls to paint. I always thought, before I had any experience with it, I always thought you just buy the color of paint you want and put it up on your wall, right? Not so. You know why? Because if you don't do all the prep work and you just put the new paint up, it's not gonna last. And actually it could ruin your walls. Same thing with the dog grooming. If I don't do all this prep work, right, and I just wash the dog, the haircut's not gonna last. And I could do some damage to the skin, right? And just like when I put the new paint color up on the wall, that's actually the easy part, I found out. I was like whistling, singing. It was actually enjoyable to put the new paint up on the wall because all the hard part had been done. Prepping the walls, taping it off. And then by the time I'm putting the new paint up on the wall, that's the easy part. Same thing with dog grooming and giving a dog like this a haircut. By the time I'm giving him a haircut, I'm whistling, singing, it's fun. That's the fun and easy part. But the prep work, preparing his coat properly for the haircut so that the haircut will last for a long time and it won't cause any damage to his skin. In fact, done properly, it helps heal any skin issues. So, same thing. And the guy that I was talking to, he really liked that analogy. He was like, I never thought of it like that, you know, because he has a dog as well. And he never thought to brush his dog before washing it. So, yeah, I was telling him the washing part, washing a dog is the easy part. You know, this is the hard part, getting the coat ready for the bath. But no matter what you're doing, the more you care, the more you prepare. I heard that line from a chef, but it's true. Whether you're painting a wall or cooking a dish, preparing a meal, or grooming a dog, the more you care, the more you prepare. And that's also why they say that only a rich person can afford a cheap paint job. And that didn't make sense to me when I first heard it, but now it makes complete sense. Only a rich person can afford a cheap paint job because a cheap paint job is usually done by somebody who is not a professional or doesn't care so much about what they do. And they will cut corners and take shortcuts. And when they put the new paint on the wall, the person who paying for it, the homeowner that pays for it, they might initially be happy because they're paying a cheap price and they don't see any obvious damage or anything to their walls the day of. But what happens is a few months down the road, when that contractor is long gone and they have your money, you're going to start to see bubbles and chips and cracks on your wall because they painted it improperly. They didn't prep the walls properly before putting the new paint up. So that's why the paint job was so cheap. But now, when you hire a real professional painter to come and fix what the other painter did, now you're going to have to pay a lot more because this painter has to fix the damage that was done by the other painter because they skipped steps and didn't do it properly. And now you're going to have to pay another painter more money to redo the job and also fix the damage that was done by the previous painter who did a cheap job. So that's why I say, same thing with grooming. Only a rich person can afford a cheap groom job. Because a groomer who only charges $35 to groom this dog here is not going to be able to spend the time, or I mean, maybe they will be able to, but I doubt they'll be willing to, for if they're only charging $35 to groom this dog for you. Then a $35 groom can literally turn into thousands of dollars at the vet's office, and to pay your new groomer more money, because your new groomer is going to charge maybe $150 upwards of $200 to fix the horrible groom the other groomer did for $35. You know? So it makes sense when you think about it. Only a rich person can afford a cheap groom job, a cheap paint job, no matter what it is. You know? I'd even go as far as to say a haircut, you know? I mean, you might say, oh, you know, even if I do get a $10 haircut and the person damages my hair, how much damage could they possibly do? You'd be surprised. People get some very serious skin issues and, you know, lots of headache. Some people lose their hair because of a reaction that they got from the hairstylist, you know? So you'd be surprised. You could end up spending a lot more money at the dermatologist's office trying to figure out why your skin is all messed up after you pay $5 for somebody to do your haircut on the street corner somewhere, you know. I'm sorry about that, Bruno. Okay, so it looks like I got all the mats. Oh man, especially around here. The ears, because, you know, they rub, high friction areas. Look at that. There we go. There we go. Good job, buddy. I bet he feels much better. Oh man. If you could imagine all of this tight hair, all these extra layers of clothes, just pulling at his skin constantly, you know, you can imagine how uncomfortable that would be after a while. And then for someone to come in and take the time, put in the effort, and clear it all out for him, and comb it out, make sure he's feeling nice and comfortable, of course they appreciate it. There you go. Good boy, Cadet. He might not really like it so much, but I do feel like they do appreciate, you know, you helping them out, putting in the time and effort. There we go. All right. Okay. Alrighty. Any questions? Heidi says, love learning from you. Bought both books. Please keep putting content. Oh wow, thank you, Heidi. Appreciate that. How often do you see these dogs? Once every like 5-6 weeks, I see them. And they're usually not this tangled up and matted, but during the springtime and during the fall, and then again in the heart of winter and the heart of summer, about 4 times a year, you know, they do tend to get pretty matted. The coat gets, you know, it gets out of hand pretty quickly because all this dead coat being cycled through, you know, because they're changing out their coat. Getting rid of last season's undercoat, also old damaged hairs, you know, and it has to replace all that with new hair, but it can't if that old hair is still hanging out in those pores. And they do that because they grow in bundles, they grow in units, not single individual hair strands. Their hair grows in bundles, so that's why it tends to hang out and sit inside the skin and those pores rather than get shed out like a lab does. So by going in there and pulling it out, now he has room to grow his spring coat, you know, so that he'll be in style, in season. You know, as fashionable as this guy Bruno is, can't be caught in last season's outfit. You kidding me? Okay. All right. Look at that. Yeah, they don't call them designer breeds for nothing. These guys are fashionable. You gotta keep them in style. Okay, wow. Okay, so now that I've gotten him pretty much combed out, I can work this comb through his coat all over. I've gotten out most of the bundles of dead hair. I can feel his coat smoothing out. It's not feeling so clumpy and rough and thick. Okay. There we go. Awesome. So now, what I'm gonna do, whoa. There we go. You know, see, it's like never ending, but there is an end to it. Okay, Heidi Tucker, message retracted, and then message retracted again. Huh, be like that, Heidi. You know, I'm not one to tell people how to live their life, but, you know, if that's how you want to be, what do you call them? Indian giver? Hold up, no, that's not PC. That's not politically correct. I only know that term Indian giver because that's what we used to say growing up in the 80s. Sorry about that. I don't mean to offend anybody. But anyways, don't live your life like that, Heidi. Giving out messages and just retracting them like that, you know. How short will you be taking him? I think he's adorable like he is. Yeah, I'm not going to be taking much off of him, just a little bit. They like to keep him long and fluffy, which is why I do all this combing. Otherwise, we have to shave him down. What's up, Bonnie? Bonnie Leg. Oh, Lega. Oh, okay, Bonnie Lega. I thought that said Bonnie Legs. I was like excited. Oh, leg guy. Anyways, but yeah. So on the body, I'm gonna do this length here, 3/4 of an inch. See, and it's gonna take off just like the tips. So just shaping him up today. All right. So for the feet, I'm gonna go do the 30 blade. Nice clean feet. Okay, buddy. Good boy. Just skimming over the foot pads so it looks nice and you can see the paw pads. Heidi, I'm new to grooming. What can I do to improve my scissoring of legs? Oh, there are scissor exercises, like scissor drills that you can do. There we go. And first of all, you want to know how to hold the scissors correctly. So I used to hold them like this, right? And it was very difficult to keep it, But now what I do is I go from here and tuck it in. See that? So now my thumb is barely in there. My thumb is not in the hole. See that? Just barely right there, just the tip. Anyways, and then you fold it like this, see that? So now I have a lot of control there, sturdy, and only my thumb, that cutting blade is moving. And you want to try to go through and keep it level. Go like maybe use a desk or something like this, where you can go up and down and make sure just just practice this a lot. And then you can go down and scissor. Okay, so I switched to the 10 blade to do the sanitary area. Alright. Alright, and again, you're just skimming. Just get that area nice and clean. Alrighty. There we go. So now I'll show you here. There we go. So now this whole area is nice and clean and tidy. Let me see here, I'll do a touch up. There we go. Alrighty. And then before I put them in the tub, okay. Oh, those ears are nasty. Okay. Clean those ears in the tub. Okay. Before I put them in the tub, one last thing I like to do is trim their nails. Actually, his nails are nice and short, so it's not necessary. Alright, I'll just follow them after the bath. Bonnie Lega, how do you hold the dog's front right leg when doing nails, pads, and trimming? Every time I do it, they seem like they just don't like the way I hold them, and it's just their front right leg. So his front right leg, okay. Let's see here. Let's just, let's see. I'll just try to trim here. So what I like to do is just hold the foot. Do the tips here. See that? And then see if they pull away. And then that's okay. You just wait till they're calm, let go, and then have them stand or do it this way. Is that right? Good girl. I mean, good boy. Oh, yeah, it's a little short. Okay. But you get the idea. There you go. So I don't know, I just kind of work with it. Sometimes if they don't really like it, like when I hold it forward like that, then I'll come around over on this side, and then I'll do it like this and hold it behind them. See, like that, and do whatever work I need to do. This way, I control him, see that? So I put my arm around, and then hold like this. There we go. And that way, I have a lot more control. I can do whatever I need. You know, he can do all this, but I still have that control here. So I like to do it like that. I'm not sure if that helps. They always rear up when I do that. They rear up, yeah. So this might be better, because if you're over him like this, then not only do you have this arm holding them tight to your body, so you control them this way, but also this is preventing him from jumping up. See that? And then you can do whatever you need to here. So I like this hold a lot. So hopefully that helps, Bonnie. All right. Okay. Alright. So this is nice. I won't have to get naked, get in the shower with them. Okay, thank you. Awesome. I'm glad that helped, Bonnie. But yeah, I like to call it the football hold. So it's like holding a football, and it works better. It makes more sense calling a football hold with smaller dogs. But yeah, you do that, and then same thing with the back leg. Same thing with the back leg. You come over and you hold it like that. So now this arm is holding him close to my body, so I have control here. You know, he can't jump up or anything, and I can work on his foot safely here. And that way, even if he was an aggressive dog and he's trying to turn and bite me, and I still have control here, he can't get to me. So keep you safe. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get the shampoo and the toothbrush out of the shower there where I left it for his brother. Okay. So right now I'm using Heel, made by the same company that the other shampoo I was using, Moosh. I liked it so much. I'm trying this Heel one now. Alright. So first thing I like to do when I get them in the tub before I start anything is check their anal glands. Now, I don't always empty the anal glands, but I do always check. So you just want to lift the tail and feel the 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock position on the right under the tail. Oh, sorry about that. And here's how I check. When you lift the tail straight up, right here on the 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock position, on either side of the butthole, you just want to feel and touch. And yeah, it does feel full. So when they're full, I empty it. I don't empty it unless they feel full. Because if it's not full, then it's already emptying itself, normally. But when I can feel that it's nice and full there, then we want to go ahead and relieve the pressure. There you go. There you go. Okay. Nasty. Look at that. Isn't that nasty? So, before I rinse it off, let me just show you. Look at that. Isn't that nasty? That just came out of his butt. It's on my hand there. Super nasty, right? And I'm not exactly sure why they all smell different. But this one, it smells very meaty, kind of. There we go. But sometimes it smells very fishy. Sometimes it smells like metallic, like a battery pop. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Okay. Rinse that area off. Oh, that water is super hot. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to figure out the temperature there, the water temperature. All right, so his brother, I did check the anal glands and they were not full. So for his brother, I did not empty the anal glands. So yeah, just how hard do you need to squeeze? I have trouble with this too. I don't squeeze hard. I actually do this like massaging motion. And so I don't try to get it all out at once. I massage it, just kind of, pressure and release, pressure, release. Because if it's too full and you squeeze too hard, you can actually rupture the anal glands. Okay. All right, buddy. All right, so first I'm gonna wet the dog. There we go. I like to use warm water to get them wet because warm water relaxes and it'll help relax those hair fibers and the skin, cause it to open up, and that way it'll absorb the shampoo much better. And then when I rinse, do the final rinse, I like to use cool water to close up the hair fibers, close everything up. I'll sit in there with them. There we go. There we go. Sit in here with him. Now I plug this ear, see that? Plug it. That way water doesn't go in his ear canal. Okay. So now that I have him all wet, I'm going to apply the shampoo. However, I'm not going to just apply it randomly, just rub it all over any kind of which way. I'm gonna hit the sebaceous zones first. So, meaning the areas where there's more skin than hair, see like the ear, it produces more oil in these areas than other areas of the body, which is why they call it sebaceous zones, because it's the sebaceous gland producing the sebaceous, oil. Anyways, you want to hit these areas first and make sure the shampoo has the longest contact time here, because these are also the areas that are going to smell the most. Whenever you get a smelly dog, usually it smells, unless they rolled in something, usually the smell's coming from their ears, their armpits here, this area here, or this area back here. So that's why we want to make sure we apply the shampoo to these areas first. So I got the ears, now the armpits here, right? And then I'm going to get the tummy area, the thighs. And then get the butthole area here, the base of the tail. Okay, and now that I've gotten all the sebaceous zones covered, the ears, the armpits, back here, the butt, then what I like to do is do the feet, get the paw pads, right? Because this is another area where they're constantly stepping in things, usually when they smell bad, sometimes their feet can smell like Fritos, right? Corn chips, stuff like that. So again, I want the most contact time here on the paw pads, on the feet. There we go. And the reason why I like to start with the ears first is because when the pet parents see their dog and they're all excited because the dog looks nice, has a nice haircut, usually they're like, oh, and they get right up here, oh, in their head. And I want this area to smell the nicest. So that's why I want to get the shampoo on the ears first. That way, I make sure this area, the ears, are not going to smell when the pet parent goes to, love on their dog. Okay. Alrighty. Just like a good chef, he tastes the food constantly. He wants the person who eats the food that he cooks, he wants them to really enjoy it, Same thing with me. I'm constantly testing the coat, making sure there's no tangles or rough hairs left in there, because when my clients, when the pet owner pets their dog and runs their fingers through their hair and loves on them, I want them to really be able to enjoy it and really feel that softness, that nice, soft, silky texture that just makes you want to rub your face all over them, I want that. I want my clients to enjoy the work that I did. Just like a chef really wants the person to enjoy the meal that he cooked, the food that he cooked. Okay. I think it's the greatest joy of any artist, whether you're a sculptor, a painter, a chef, no matter what it is. I feel like our greatest joy is seeing somebody enjoy what we made for them, Okay, Sue Odom, such a lucky dog. The bath looks so relaxing. Do you make Tennessee house calls? Sue. Alrighty. I do drive up to Tennessee often to see my girls, but yeah, I don't make any house calls in Tennessee. Alrighty. Good boy. And this is why I like to use all natural products, or like the most natural, the most mildest products possible, because dogs do tend to lick, you know. And just in case they lick the shampoo, I know if they are gonna lick the shampoo, I wanna make sure I'm using the best shampoo I can. There you go. And so now I'm gonna wet the body down a little bit because it's getting hard to lather. Just so I can get the shampoo to lather better. There you go. Bruno, you're such a good boy. Okay. But one good thing to point out is that it's not my hand scrubbing that's going to get it clean. It's the contact time. It's allowing the shampoo time to actually do its job, time to work. And that way, when I rinse him, that's when he's actually going to be nice and clean. Because if I give the shampoo enough time to make that bond, right, attach itself to the dirt and grime and all of that, once I've given the shampoo enough time to do that, to do what it's designed to do, then when I rinse the shampoo off, that's when he's going to be nice and clean. And again, when I rinse, I'm going to rinse with cool water so that it can help close up, seal up the hair fibers and the pores. Sorry, I saw some comments coming in. Okay. Alrighty. Nice. So now that I got him all lathered up, I don't like to skimp on the shampoo. Don't skimp on the shampoo. Apply it liberally. Because again, if you thought that it's your hand scrubbing the dog that's going to get them clean, then I could see where the temptation would be to think, oh, I'm not going to use that much shampoo and I'm just going to scrub them really good. But once we know that it's actually not our hands scrubbing them that's going to get them clean, it's actually the shampoo, the contact time, then, it's like rather than sit here and scrub them really hard, all we have to do is just be generous and liberal with the shampoo. Apply it liberally. Okay. Alrighty. So, the reason why I like to do the toothbrushing while they're in the tub, while they're in the bath, is because I just got him fully lathered, his whole body. So I want to give him a few minutes, to let it set, so that the shampoo can, really do a good job cleaning and conditioning his skin. So while I'm sitting here waiting for the shampoo to do its thing, I figure, what better time to brush his teeth? Okay, so get the toothbrush. Right now I'm using Vet's Best, but the toothpaste doesn't really matter. It's more the mechanical act of brushing that's going to give you all the benefits of brushing their teeth. It's not so much the toothpaste. And I know there's a big marketing push, enzymes, it's the enzymatic toothpaste, and just rub it on their teeth, just get it in there, and the enzymes will do the cleaning. That's kind of like saying that if you get a very high quality toothpaste, you can just rub it on your teeth and it'll do all the cleaning for you. It doesn't make sense. It's the actual mechanical act of brushing that breaks up the biofilm, the plaque. See that? So we actually want to brush the back teeth, make sure you get the gums. Good boy. Good boy. Nice. Good job, buddy. Get the front teeth. Nice. Mwah. Oh, adorable. So you want to do a nice toothbrushing. I like to do it. I know some groomers say, what good is the toothbrushing going to do? You're only brushing their teeth like once a month or whenever you see them. What good does that do? But in my opinion, at least someone's brushing their teeth once a month. At least once a month, someone's going in there and looking at their teeth and checking it out so that we can catch any issues before it gets too bad. At least once a month, while we're grooming them, why not brush their teeth? That's just how I see it. And I don't charge anything extra, for it. I just include it in the groom because for me, it's part of grooming. But I can see the other's point when the groomers say, oh, if you're just charging an extra $12, $15 for toothbrushing, that's just a ripoff because it's not really going to do any good anyways. I see your point. I get it. But again, just me personally, I feel better that at least once a month, someone's getting in there and checking those teeth. Let me pull this closer so I can read the comments. Okay. Stacy says, LOL agrees. Oh, nice, Stacy. Sue says, I know your girls are about 100 miles from me. Used to live very close to where they are now. Oh, really? Nice. I really like that area. It's nice, cozy town. Bonnie Lega says, I had to get a tub with a huge St. Bernard. I'll get in the tub with you. I was soaking wet. My entire bathroom was drenched. Nice. Bonnie, I actually love getting wet. Oh my goodness. That didn't sound good. I love getting wet with the dog. For me, whenever I'm like getting all wet, I'm taking a shower with the dog and I'm all wet and drenched, I get a kick out of it. I kind of laugh to myself thinking, I'm actually getting paid to do this, like I'm getting paid to play with the dog and get wet with them. So I feel super lucky. Oh. Okay. Bruno. Such a good boy. Alrighty. He's come such a long way. Literally, he used to crawl all over me, trying to escape, get out of the tub. I'm serious. I would leave here with scratch marks all over me, like I had a hot date, I'm kidding. Anyways, there we go. Okay, so now that he's been sitting in the shampoo for a little bit, there we go. Now I'll go ahead and rinse him off. And again, I'm going to rinse him with cool water, not warm water. Warm water was to open everything up. And that's so that it can really absorb the shampoo. Cool water is going to seal everything off, so it helps get a nice clean rinse. Wow. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. I'll try to. But you'll see like dark water rinsing off of him, which is my point, that the cleaning happens when you rinse, and as the dirty water gets rinsed off of him, that's when the cleaning happens. Watch this. Good boy. Okay, so it's not too bad. Well, and a lot of that has to do with all the dirty hair that I brushed out before the bath, you know? So yeah, I thought I was gonna see some brown water. But, oh, there you go, a little bit. There we go. Good boy, Bruno. Alright, you're such a good boy. Again, the reason why I saved the head for last to rinse is because I really want that head to smell really nice. So I want to make sure that the head has the longest contact time with the shampoo. Oh wow, it's too cold. So a good rule of thumb is that you always want to rinse for at least twice as long as it took to lather the dog. So that doesn't mean the contact time, because the contact time we want at least to be 5 to 10 minutes. So you don't have to rinse your dog for 10 to 20 minutes. But however long it took you to get the dog fully lathered, you want to, just a good rule of thumb. So you want to rinse more than you think you need to. Rinse, and then rinse a little bit more. That way you can be sure that all of the shampoo is washed out. You don't want any residue. You don't want any to leave even just a little bit of film of shampoo on the dog, because that little bit of residue, that little bit of shampoo left over, it could cause irritation and cause them to itch, things like that. There we go. So, just a good rule of thumb, you always want to rinse for at least twice as long as it took you to lather the dog. Okay, so now what I like to do is just kind of use my fingers here to squeegee the dog, right? Wring out some of that extra water. Good boy, Bruno. There we go. That way, when I towel dry him, the towel won't get drenched and soaking wet, rendering it useless pretty much. But when we get all this excess water off, and then he does a little shake, and then when we towel dry him, the towel's not, soaked. There you go. Then he'll do a little shake. A little shake. He'll do a little shake. Little shake. Okay. I guess not. Who am I to tell him how to live his life? Okay. Let me go ahead and get a towel. Towel you off, buddy. Okay, let me try myself first, buddy. There you go. Good shake, Bruno. Okay. But there you go. There you have it. There's the bath, and I'm about to dry him, and drying is pretty boring and uneventful. And a lot of noise. I'm just sitting there holding this high velocity air dryer. I'm just sitting here holding this hose, blowing him dry. So the drying part is pretty uneventful and it's pretty loud. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end it right here so I can go ahead and dry him up. Give him a nice haircut. So thanks for watching, guys. Hey, that was step 2 and step 3. Well, maybe not all 3. I'm about to finish up step 3. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. Hopefully that helps. Do you condition hair? Stacy, yes, great question. I'm so glad that you asked that before I turn this off. I do use conditioner, but not all the time. Now, the shampoo that I use, it doesn't strip the oil, and it's actually made with essential oils, which I really like because it kind of saves me that extra step of having to do an extra conditioner rinse. And here's what I do. Even though I don't do a regular conditioner, what I do is I spray the leave-in conditioner, right? I spray the leave-in coat conditioner on him while he's still wet and let it set while I file his nails and everything, and then I dry him. And I dry, and when I blow dry him, I'm blow drying the conditioner into his coat, into the skin, blowing it in there. So that's what I do for a conditioner, because the conditioner is the most important part. I'm glad you brought that up, Stacy. Because if you're gonna skip one or the other, if you're gonna skip shampoo or conditioner, you can only choose one. Choose conditioner over shampoo, because the conditioner is still gonna give you some cleaning properties, but the conditioner is gonna restore the moisture and the oils that's gonna protect the skin and the coat. So the conditioner is more important than the shampoo, which is why I look for products that don't strip the natural oils. And also, I use leave-in conditioner to dry the dog in. So I spray it on him while he's still wet, let it set, and I dry him. So hopefully that helps, guys. You're so adorable, Bruno. All right, I'm gonna finish him up, guys.